Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here, playing Far Cry 6, and in this video I wanted to do a little bit of a showcase of all of the Resolver weapons and the Supremo Backpacks. Basically, if you want to shoot fireworks or use a gun that plays the Macarena, this is the video for you. I'll show each and every single gun or backpack you can unlock. I'll talk about the abilities they possess and if I like them, and then I'll show a little bit of gameplay with each one. We're gonna go through them in the order that they appear in the menu in the game, but you can use uranium to pretty much buy any of them you want except for the final two because you have to unlock those through a mission. And before we get started, excuse my Spanish, I'm gonna try my best to pronounce these. We're going to start with Resolver weapons, the first one being the Tostador. This one's pretty obvious, but it is in every way your regular flamethrower. It spreads flames and you can light people on fire or light the land on fire. If you hit some poison, it also causes an explosion, which can be useful in certain scenarios. Overall, this is like a mid-tier weapon in my opinion. It's fun to use a flamethrower every now and again, but it's also not the most effective because you got to get up close and personal, and it's also pretty easy to damage yourself. Then we have the El Muro, which I think means wall, but I'm honestly just taking a shot in the dark here. The reason I think it means that is because this is a pistol, but it actually comes with a shield attachment. So when you aim down sight, you can actually block some of the damage while using this extremely powerful pistol. It's really loud, so, you know, it's not going to be like a stealthing mechanism or a stealthing tool, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Obviously best for close quarters combat, and it's pretty useful against higher level enemies.
Wonder what this unlocks.
Next, we have La Clavadora, which according to Google Translate means nailer, which is a decent title for this one. It's basically a crossbow that impales enemies via harpoons. And even though it sounds pretty loud, you can stealth with this somewhat decently. There is a much cooler harpoon type weapon coming soon, but this one has like a decently fast reload. However, if it gets a little sticky and enemies start chasing you around, you miss a shot, you can die really easily if you're not careful.
better watch myself.
Next up, we have the El Besito, which honestly, in my opinion, probably one of the worst and most useless guns in the entire game. You can spray a poisonous gas cloud that can convert your enemies against one another. The problem is you don't really get enough ammo to do a whole lot with it. And even if you spray an enemy, the chance that they convert is like 1 in 5 or 1 in 10. So to convert anyone, you have to like get so close and personal, and then they end up shooting at you anyways. So you almost always end up dying. I think this is a truly useless weapon, but I'm going to show it nonetheless. Then we have the Pyrotechno resolver weapon, definitely a fun factor score of 10 out of 10. This pretty much is a firework launcher that works kind of like a grenade or a rocket launcher, but instead it shoots fireworks. You can shoot them up in the sky and kind of rain them down, although that doesn't really work. You want to just aim them at your enemies and shoot them, but you can also charge it, which I think is extremely useful, and this one is also worth upgrading if you have some of the extra resources you need. The next weapon we have is the El Susurro, which according to Google Translate yet again means the Whisper. This is a nail gun, which I actually found extremely useful in early game because it's one of the first weapons you can unlock. And it is beautiful for stealth. It does one-shot headshots. The nails are completely silent, so if you like to play stealthy like me and go for those alarms and stuff like that, also extremely useful. It has a big clip. It's semi-automatic. It doesn't really overheat or anything. This can be a very useful weapon if you like playing that stealthy play style.
Wonder what this unlocks.
Next up, we have the Discos Locos, which is probably the most imaginative resolver weapon in the game. It says you can unlock it by reaching rank 6, but it was also a pre-order bonus, so I'm not 100% sure if you need to have like pre-ordered the game to get it. But it literally shoots CDs that play the Macarena, and you can hear the Macarena when you aim down sight, and then when you shoot it, it will skip the disc. So fun factor, 10 out of 10, obviously. In terms of how useful it is, it's not very useful. The discs don't do too much damage, and you have to reload a lot. So it's just for fun.
Better watch my step, officer. Have to be careful. Special forces, of course.
The next resolver weapon we're going to take a look at is the Zeusito, which I think just is like a play on words of the Greek god Zeus, who is obviously known for like thunder and sky. And this is a shock rifle that just deals standard damage, standard ammo capacity. It's really cool. You can charge it up, but if you like fully charge it and shoot it, you use like a lot of ammo all at once, which is good because you can take out something with a lot of health, but bad because it means you have to reload a lot if you do charge it up. It has good handling and you can upgrade it a bunch. It's an overall fun weapon to use to incapacitate enemies or vehicles. We then have the El Pequeno, which means small, and I think that's kind of the play on words there, is that this is probably the biggest resolver weapon in the game. It is a MMG, or a massive machine gun, that could stop a tank. It's obviously not going to be extremely accurate, but you can start spinning it up and just completely destroying a village and everyone inside of it. You can take out vehicles, helicopters, and yeah. The only problem is you're going to run out of ammo pretty quickly. We then have the La Sorpresa, which means the surprise. It's a sniper rifle. It has an extremely massive barrel, as you can see, and that is because it is a single shotgun that shoots an explosive bullet. But it's not just that it explodes on impact. It like pierces the enemy or the vehicle. There's a little bit of time, and then boom, a big ass explosion to take them out. Very, very cool weapon. A lot of fun to use, but reloading after every shot makes it hard to use unless you're really, really far away.
Hostages.
Now, next up, I'm going to show a gun and a Supremo backpack together because they are unlocked at the same time, and that is the La Varita, which means the wand, and the Triador, which means traitor. You unlock both of these through the same mission, and they work very well together. This is basically a God mode cheat code because the Supremo backpack allows you to see through walls, and then the La Varita resolver weapon allows you to shoot through walls. So when you combine them, you can see through and shoot through walls. As you can imagine, that is extremely overpowered. So I'll show you gameplay of both of them working together, and then we'll move on to more Supremo backpacks. The first Supremo backpack you'll unlock in the game is the Exterminador, the Exterminator. It's an assaulter Supremo, and it just launches a bunch of rockets that lock onto enemies. They explode on impact. Those enemies usually die on impact. We then have the Fantasma Supremo, which launches poisonous gas onto the battlefield that can turn enemies onto one another, similar to the Besito. The gas very rarely works, and therefore I didn't find this one useful at all. They basically just get a little stunned and then end up shooting you anyways, and you end up dying. Then we have the Volta, which is an EMP blast. You can use this to knock over enemies or disable alarms and security systems, which is really, really useful when you're doing checkpoints if you don't want them to accidentally call an alarm. And you can also use it to hijack enemy vehicles like tanks or just regular trucks. So that's going to be when it's most useful.
Clara, I'm coming up to a military dry dock.
Next up, we have the Furioso, which is one of the coolest ones in terms of cool factor. But you basically jump up and emit an explosive ring underneath you, and that just lights everyone on fire, and then it kind of like thrusts you midair. It's just a really cool effect, although jumping into the middle of a group of enemies to use it often results in maybe not the best results for you and your health bar. Then we have the Medico, which allows you to self-revive, which can be very useful if you're playing in solo, or you can rapidly heal yourself and nearby allies and co-op partners. So it's just the generic healer backpack. Then we have the Gladiador, which allows you to go into a rage, boost your health, boost your speed, and it allows you to get machete kills on any enemy a lot more rapidly than if you were to normally use your machete. So you can basically just like go into rage mode and start chopping people up.
I wonder what this unlocks.
And then I did show this one earlier on in the video. This is the Triador, which pairs with the Varita. It allows you to mark enemies and see them through walls and then shoot through those walls, basically allowing you to get God mode. And I'll show you a little bit of gameplay with it here. But thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it was helpful. A super special thank you to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. And hopefully I see you soon. Peace.